na tong conversion na to kasi ano lang naman siya eh. Force ay yung computation. Force is equal to mass times acceleration. Pero, tama, yun yung formula natin. Pero, yung mass natin is in grams. Ano dapat ang unit natin for mass? It should be in kilograms. So, yun yung una dapat natin gagawin. You have to convert grams to become kilograms. Okay, ang kilo, it stands for 10 raised to 3. 10 raised to 3. So, ibig sabihin, 3 decimal places ang i-move ng ating decimal point para makuha natin yung correct na value. So, kung tayo ay nag-start dito sa 50, oops, wait lang. Yan, 50. Nandito yung decimal point natin. 1, 2, 3. 3 decimal places towards the right, papunta siya sa 0.05. So, yung maging question nyo, paano ko malalaman kung mag-move pa left or pa right? Ang iisipin nyo, grams is a smaller unit compared to kilograms. So, dapat liliit yung value natin from grams to kilograms. So, 1 gram is less than 1 kilogram. Kaya dapat mas magiging maliit yung value. Okay. So, ito na yung maging conversion natin. Our formula, mass times acceleration, since we want to compute for acceleration, yun yung i-isolate natin. A is equal to force over M, over mass. 5 newtons divided by 0.05. So katulad nung ginawa natin, i-move natin yung decimal point. From 0.05, magiging 5 siya. Tapos yung numerator natin, magiging 500. So, 500 divided by 5 is 100. Ang magiging sagot natin is letter D. So, this is 500 divided by 5. Yes, you raise your hand. Do you have a question? Eh, sorry. Binaba na niya. Sige, please take your screen cap. If you have a question, class, pa-message lang ako para ma-read ko yung question nyo. Please take your screen cap for number 5. Okay, and proceed tayo sa question number 6. Okay, number 6. Okay, a car traveling at 20 meters per second. Oops. Kapalan ko lang ng konti. Yan. At 20 meters per second, crashes into a wall. The front of the car dampens the impact for 20 milliseconds. If the car was 1,200 kilograms, how much force did the car experience? So, identify natin lahat ng variables. Meters per second is what variable? V, correct. So, velocity. Tapos, impact for 20 milliseconds. Milliseconds is what variable? T, correct. Time. 1,200 kilograms. Isagot agad, correct. M for mass. Tapos, yung tinatanong niya sa atin is force. Bakit Kn yung unit? What does Kn stand for? Kn stands for? Hindi ko din sure, ma'am. Di ba? N should be Newton. So, kung merong K dyan, it should be our prefix is kilo Newton. Okay? So, para aligned lang tayo dun sa unit. Okay. So, please take your screen cap for the question. Magpo-proceed tayo sa next slide para sa discussion. So, meron tayong velocity, time, mass, and pinapakompute sa atin is force. Okay. Meron din pala siyang minention dito, class, na it crashed into a wall. Sorry, yun pala hindi natin nalagyan. Di ba nag-crash siya sa wall? Ano ang binibigay na variable sa atin nito? And what value? if anything crashes into something, automatic na ang kanyang final velocity is equal to 0. Sorry, class. Yan. So, pakitake ulit ng ating screen cap. Ito na talaga, complete na talaga siya. Pag nag-crash sa wall ang isang object, 0 ang kanyang velocity. Okay, and let's proceed sa next slide para sa discussion. So, the units again should still be aligned dun sa mga kailangan natin para sa variable. Since ang gusto nating final na unit for force is in newtons, dapat newtons is in kilogram meter per second. So ano yung kailangan nating i-convert? Alin sa mga units kanina yung kailangan nating i-convert? Tama naman yung kilograms, yung time, correct. Kasi yung time is in milliseconds. So milli stands for 10 raised to negative 3. So ang ibig sabihin pa rin nito class is tatlo pa rin yung decimal places na i-move natin. Milliseconds is shorter than 1 second. So it means yung 3 decimal places na yon should move to become smaller. Ulit yung value natin. So from 20, mag-move ulit siya 1, 2, 3. So same direction din siya kasi dapat magiging smaller kaya naging 0.02 seconds ang ating final na time. So paano natin ito i-compute? Since force yung pinapakompute niya sa atin, force, mass times acceleration lang din ang alam natin. Okay? Pero pwede nating i-derive siya, okay, from the formula acceleration. Meron tayong mass. Okay, wala tayong value for acceleration. So, ang gagawin natin is i-breakdown natin siya to become change in velocity over time. So, ngayon, meron na tayong change in velocity, which is final minus initial. Final minus initial divided by time, which is also given. So, meron na tayo lahat ng values na to. Kailangan na lang natin silang i-substitute. So, ang ating magiging mass is 1,200. Final velocity is 0 kasi nag-stop yung object natin or nag-crash siya sa wall. Initial velocity is 20 and time is yung na-convert natin na 0.02. This is 1.2 million newtons, pero since yung choices natin is kilo, newton, kilo is 10 raised to 3. So, tatanggalin natin yung tatlong zeros. Magiging 1,200 times 10 raised to 3 newtons or that is 1,200 kilonewtons. Yan. So, ang magiging sagot natin is letter A. Lagyan ko lang to ng note sa bakit naging final velocity is equal to 0 because this crash into ba yun? A1. Yan. So please take your screen cap class para sa number 6 ang answer natin is letter A. So ito na-solve natin siya not by directly substituting sa force na mass times acceleration. Ang ginawa pa natin is dinerive pa natin yung formula ng acceleration. Okay, let's proceed to question number 7. So we're done with the screen cap for number 6. Proceed tayo sa number 7. Okay, question number 7. How much work is done when you lift 100 kilograms? Ay, wait lang. Yan, 100 kilograms of mass by 1 meter. Okay, 100 kilograms is what variable? kg is mass, correct? Meter is what variable? Distance, correct. Tapos, yung tinatanong niya sa atin na work, anong formula natin for work? Force times distance. Okay. Complete ba yung given natin? Given sa ating class? Work, tama naman in Joshua. No, ano yung kulang? Meron tayong mass, meron tayong distance. Ang kulang sa atin na variable is acceleration. So, saan natin kukunin ng acceleration? Value for acceleration would be gravity. Paano natin nalaman na gravity? Ano yung naging clue natin na word? Yung lift, correct. So since ni-lift natin siya, alam natin na acceleration due to gravity ang nagbibigay sa kanya ng additional na weight. So basically, we're getting the force of gravity or the weight of our object. So force is galing sa force of gravity. Wait lang, lagyan ko lang siya ng arrow, class, ha. Nasira kasi yung mouse ko kasi, kaya ano tayo. Kasi tiwala tayo sa ating mouse sa trackpad. So, mass times acceleration times distance. Tapos, ang answer natin is 900 joules. Some of the students, ang ginawa lang nila dito is 100 times 1. So, letter C yung magiging sagot nila. Pero, ang magiging clue mo din dyan, class, is you don't get joules by multiplying kilograms and meters. You know something is missing if you don't get the same unit. So, please take your screen cap. Make sure lang natin na kompleto yung variables natin. Pag minultiply mo yung dalawang variables or tatlong variables, dapat final same unit tayo. As the choices. Question number 7, answer natin is letter D. We're done with the screen cap. Proceed tayo sa question number 8. Okay, question number 8. A jet engine has a power output of 1 megawatts. Okay. When the jet plane is traveling at 240 meters per second, how much thrust is it producing? Okay. Megawatts is what variable? Watts is a unit for power, correct? Again, kapag di nyo pa yun memorize, kasi i-memorize nyo na. Power is watts. Meters per second is what variable? V for velocity, correct? And how much thrust is it producing? Paano natin nalaman na force yung sinasabi niya? Force yung sinasabi niya kasi, paano natin nalaman na force yung pinapakompute sa atin? Because N yung nasa choices, correct? So yung choices yung magbibigay sa atin ng idea kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng word na thrust. It means force because our choices are in newtons. So ngayon, malilito tayo kasi pinapakompute sa akin force. Pero ang given sa akin power tsaka velocity. So paano ako magsa-start? Anong formula yung gagamitin ko? So ito yung sinasabi ko, class, the type of question na kung hindi mo siya mako-compute using the formula for force na mass times acceleration, kahit na anong breakdown mo dyan, hindi niya mabibigay sa'yo yung ibang variables, you always start with the most complicated variable. So ano yung mas complicated? Power, velocity, or force? Power, correct. What's our formula for power? Ayun, sinabi ko i-memorize nyo na, class, kasi forever. Nasa NMAT. Okay, power is equal to work over time. So, dun tayo magsa-start. Power is equal to work over time. Work, pwede nating i-break down na force times distance. So, dito pa lang, parang lumiliwanag na ang buhay. Kasi nakikita na agad natin na andito na yung force, which is yung tinatanong sa atin na variable. So, andito na yung force, yung tinatanong, ay yung isa pang given sa atin is power, tapos yung isang given sa atin is velocity, which is given. isang given sa atin velocity, which is something that we can derive from this, yung distance over time, di ba? That's the formula for velocity. So, magkakaroon tayo ng bagong formula. Nag-derive tayo ng bagong formula, which is usual for NMAT class, ha? Huwag kayong magugulat pag ganito yung nangyari sa NMAT. Sa NMAT, hindi madalas ang plug and play na memorize ko yung formula, lagay ko na lang siya. Hindi. For NMAT, usually meron siyang 2 or 3 equations na gustong nilalagay sa isa pang equation. So, ganun yung ginawa natin. Your given value for power, dinerive lang natin yung force and then pinag-merge natin to get velocity. So, this is now our new formula. What would be our formula for force? Force is equal to power over velocity. Okay. Tapos, ganito yung positioning ko para sa ating number 0. Para pag kinancel ko to, yan. Madali nating makita. 100,000 divided by 24. Siyempre, i-estimate mo na to sa 25. Para piso sa benching ko. Ganon. That's approximately 4,000. Approximate mo ito sa 25 para mas madali. Tapos kapag dinivide mo siya, 100 divided by 25, that's approximately 4,000 newtons. So our closest value is letter B. Thousands naman ang layo ng ating answer sa choices. So please take your screen cap. Answer for number 8 is letter B. Okay, may minove lang ako. Yan, sige. So, proceed na tayo sa next na slide. Ang next na topic natin, dito na nagsistart yung hindi pa natin na-discuss from the last session. Ang next na topic natin is fluids. Or fluid mechanics, movement of fluids. Okay, so pag sinabi nating fluid, fluid is any substance that is able to flow. So if it's flowing, it means yung particles niya are continuously moving. So this is applicable for liquids. Applicable din siya for gas. So particles na continuously moving. So yung question, first question, where does fluid tend to flow faster? Mas mabilis ba siyang mag-flow sa narrow na passage or sa wider na passage? Based on your observation class in real life, na-observe ko po na mas mabilis mag-flow kapag dumadaan siya sa narrow na passage. So that's true. Okay? Kasi fluids tend to flow faster in more constrained passages than in wider passage. Why? Kasi kapag meron kang wider na passage, ang tendency is kailangan mo munang punuin yung buong volume nung container na yon, saka pa lang siya mag-move forward. So dito slower siya, pero pag sa narrow, mas konti yung volume na kailangan mong punuin. So dito magiging faster siya. So dito, sulat ko lang slower. Yan ko lang siya blue. And dito naman siya ay faster. So faster ang fluid kapag nagfo-flow siya sa narrow na passage. Okay, so this is your screen cap para sa continuity principle. So pinangalanan lang natin siya. Okay? Kasi it's something that you already observe, pero pinapangalanan lang natin kung ano yung concept na yon. Okay, proceed tayo sa next na slide. Okay, ang next na slide naman, hinihimay natin dito yung formula for pressure of fluids. Ang pressure, ang formula natin for pressure of fluids is rho natin for density. RHO. So para siyang small letter P, pero hindi. Okay? It represents density, tapos G for gravity, and H for height. Tapos yung height na sinasabi niya dito actually is the depth of our fluid. Kung sa 21, o sige, balikan natin siya later. Tapusin ko lang tong slide na to, yung slide 21. Okay. Ay, sorry, slide 22, tapos balik tayo sa 21. Okay. Tapos, ano ibig sabihin nito? Okay, so ang ibig sabihin nito, density ng isang fluid, hindi siya nagbabago, it's constant if it's a pure substance. Tapos gravity, hindi rin nagbabago. So ibig sabihin, ang nagde-determine lang ng pressure is the depth of your fluid. Kapag mas malalim, mas mataas ang pressure. Kapag mas mababaw, mababaw yung pressure. Mababa ang pressure. So it means if you're given water in a dam, the pressure increases as the depth increases because density and gravity are not changing or constant. Minsan, meron din tayong formula, excuse me, na merong P sub 0 positive rho GH. Meron din tayong P sub 0 negative rho GH. So ano yung P sub 0? Yung PO na yan is actually initial pressure. So minsan binibigyan tayo ng initial pressure na pwede nating i-add or pwede nating i-subtract. Okay, so if this is not given, hindi nyo siya kailangan i-add dun sa formula nyo. Pero if there's an initial pressure given, then you need to add that to your formula para maging tama yung sagot natin. So ang maging question is, kailan mo siya i-add, kailan mo siya isusubtract? Ang pressure is ina-add mo kung manggagaling siya sa surface. Kasi ang pressure ng isang object from the surface downward, napupush siya ng gravity downward. So kung nasa ibabaw siya, nakaka-add siya sa pressure. If the pressure given is from the bottom, nasa ilalim naman siya, then you need to subtract that pressure because it does not add to the pressure felt of your object na nasa ibabaw. Okay, so plus sign if the pressure is from the surface, negative sign if your pressure is from the bottom. So it depends on where you start measuring. If you start measuring at the upper surface, you add that. If you start measuring at the lowest point, you subtract that. So please take your screen cap para sa fluid pressure. Kapag sa ibabaw, nakaka-add siya sa pressure. Kapag nasa ilalim, nakakabawas siya sa pressure. Okay, so proceed tayo sa next na slide. Tapos question ulit to. Okay, ay sorry. Meron palang may kailangan ng photo para sa slide number 21. Wait lang. Balik ko lang. Binura ko pa naman. Yan, balik lang tayo saglit. This is slide 21. Okay, let me know if you're done. Okay, okay 21. Mine 21. Okay, sige. Thank you. Proceed tayo sa slide 23. Okay na tayo sa 21, 22. Slide 23 na tayo. We have fluids then, flow. Liquids or gas pa rin ang pinag-uusapan natin. So dito, tinatanong niya, if air is moving, what produces higher air pressure? Mas mataas ba ang air pressure ng mabilis na air or ng mabagal na air? So class, please do not mistake pressure with velocity. Kanina ang pinag-usapan natin velocity, di ba? Na mabilis mag-flow yung substance kung narrow siya. So that's velocity. Ito, pressure yung pinag-uusapan. Ibig sabihin the pressure felt by your container. Nakapaligid sa kanya. So, following this concept, ang pressure ay mas mataas, weirdly, kapag mabagal yung air. Parang weird nun. Parang isip mo, di ba dapat kapag mabagal yung air, mababa yung pressure? Okay? Mataas ang pressure kapag mabagal yung air. Kapag mabilis yung air, halos wala siyang pressure na nararamdaman. Halos wala tayong pressure na mararamdaman. It's because your air is continuously moving. Wala na siyang push na ine-exert sa surfaces na nakokontakt niya. So, yun yung nangyayari dito sa wings ng airplane. Okay? Para mag-lift yung wings ng airplane, nagkakaroon ng high velocity air sa ibabaw. Since mabilis yung air na nasa ibabaw, nawawala yung pressure na nararamdaman ng wings. Okay? Tapos, yung air na nasa ilalim, automatic or relatively, it's lower. So, automatic, nagiging high pressure siya. Kaya siya napupush upward. So, it means if you introduce high velocity airflow sa ibabaw ng wings, natatanggal yung pressure sa ibabaw, nagkakaroon ka ng higher pressure sa ilalim. Okay? So, this is your screen cap para sa high pressure air. High pressure air is always the slower air. Kapag mabagal yung air or gas yan class ha. Pag mabagal siya, siya yung may mas mataas na pressure. Okay, proceed tayo sa next na slide. Okay, next na slide is, in a container, what produces higher fluid pressure? Okay, so i-follow natin yung concept na yon. Meron tayong slow fluid na nakikita natin sa wider passage. Yan. Meron tayong slow fluid na nasa wider passage. Meron tayong faster fluid na nasa narrow na passage. Saan siya merong higher pressure? Based dun sa pinag-usapan natin sa previous na slide. Okay, kapag narrow ang passage, faster fluid. No. Saan mas mataas ang fluid pressure? Sa fast or slow? Okay, mas mataas ang fluid pressure kapag mas mabagal ang ating ang mas mabagal ang ating fluid. So, bakit ganun yung naging concept? Kasi, kung titingnan nyo rin to class, ang ating slower fluid is able to apply pressure on the sides of your passage. Sobrang bagal niya, kaya parang, okay, chill lang tayo dito, mag-push lang tayo towards the side. Unlike your fast fluid, yung fast fluid natin, since mabilis siyang mag-flow, halos hindi na siya dumidikit dun sa side ng container natin. Kaya wala na siyang pressure na na-exert. So again, ang merong higher fluid pressure is yung slower na fluid. Fast fluid is has lower fluid pressure naman. So please take your screen cap. Please take your screen cap. This is called Venturi effect. As faster fluids are forced to flow faster through narrow spaces, pressure is reduced. Okay, and one more principle before we have our break. Okay. Ito po ba yung ginagamit ng firefighters? Which one? Venturi. Ginagamit nila for what? Kapag slower fluid, kung paano nagiging higher yung putting out fire sa enclosed spaces. Okay, ang fire kasi, di ba meron tayong triangle of fire? Triangle of fire is if you have fuel, if you have heat, and oxygen. So, kapag enclosed yung fire, tatanggalin mo yung oxygen, pwede mo nang ma-put out yung fire. Kahit na isa lang doon. Pag tinanggal mo yung fuel, matatanggal yung fire kapag naman tinanggal mo yung heat. So I'm not sure kung alin doon yung maging applicable for pressure. Pero kapag tinanggal natin yung oxygen doon sa equation, yun yung magpo-put out ng fire na related sa air. Hindi ako sure kung sa pressure, kung paano siya. Is it the flow of water? Ganon. Let me know. Hindi ako sure kung paano siya applicable para sa pag-put out ng fire. Sa flow ng water paglabas ng hose ba? Sige. At let me know later. So, proceed muna tayo sa Pascal's principle. The pressure applied in an enclosed fluid is transmitted undiminished. Ibig sabihin lang nito, kapag meron kang enclosed fluid, nasa iisa siyang container, yung pressure is distributed equally. in all parts of your fluid. So, ibig sabihin yung fluid dito, hindi siya nagfo-flow. Katulad kanina, static lang siya, nasa isang lugar siya. Example nito, yung toothpaste na nasa loob ng toothpaste tube. Kahit na saang part ng tube kayo mag-press, may lalabas pa rin na toothpaste. Kahit na malapit sa opening or sa dulo because pressure is exerted equally throughout your fluid. So, that is Pascal's principle. Please take your screen cap. It's already 3:02, so i-absorb muna natin yung concept ng mga fluid principles na to, and then magpo-proceed tayo sa pag-answer after we have our break. Let's make it 7 minutes para sakto 3:10 tayo mag-start. I'll see you at 3:10. Enjoy your break.